Hi, this is Father Louis Skirty. I'm honored to be here at Villa Walsh, the headquarters for the Filippinis, the province of the Filippini Sisters United States. And I'm interviewing Sister Mary Beth, who teaches here and is also involved with vocation and development. And I introduced it backwards. Helen. That's Helen. That's Helen as the teacher and vocations. I'll get this down. And Mary Beth, I met in Rome originally when I went to visit Sister Ascenza, who was there on a chapter meeting, which is like a worldwide meeting. And do you remember our conversation at that chapter? The vote was open, or you were electing a new...
Oh, it was before we had elected.
Yes,
right.
a new Mother General.
Right.
They used military names. And we had lunch and we chatted and had breakfast and had mass. And I said to Ascenza, you should become Mother General. Right. She said, don't wish that on me. And then later on that night, after the votes, Sister Mary Beth calls me and says, Habemus Madrem. Remember that? We have a mother. So Sister Ascenza, who put all this together, she's the connection between all of us. I've known a long time. And she is now the Mother General in Rome. And we were with her last month visiting. And she mentioned that you'd love to talk about missions. Okay, so the original mission came from St. Lucy Filippini being sent and sending sisters here in what year? 1910. 1910. Now that's still going on, that missionary activity.
Right. And the American province grew from 1910 to about 1966, I guess it was, and then they went off to Brazil. Mother Nanetta and I guess 5 or 6 sisters left for Brazil, and some had come from Italy. Some of that 5, the batch, were some Italians and then some Americans, and they all went down to start the Brazilian province. And it's so interesting. If I dropped you into Brazil, you'd think you were at Villa Walsh.
No, really, that's great.
There's a mansion, there's a big novitiate building, a large school, and just like here, and wonderful sisters that are still working. They have a lot to overcome there, and even still today. As St. Lucy worked with young girls in Brazil, their big problem now is, the trafficking of young girls, even by their parents. The mothers will sell the girls even for just an hour, And so we this year is our 50th anniversary of this one mission that we started in Brazil in Miracatu. And now we have 78 little girls that have been rescued by the sisters.
That's great.
Yeah, and it continues on, and the sisters are doing a wonderful job. And we've started taking some little boys, because now even little boys are getting abused. And in Brazil, they take the little boys for their organs, and it's just something so horrific. So if you have anything to do to help conquer these awful things that are going on, even just pray for these children. You can't realize how awful it is.
Yeah,
just
unbelievable.
Terrible. Yeah.
I mean, we have it on our border, Mexican border.
Yes, exactly.
And the trafficking that goes on there, and the drugs.
Even here in New Jersey, you have it too. It goes on. It's everywhere. We have to protect the girls. So there's a place for St. Lucy in the world today to protect the girls. There really is. Yeah.
And that was her focus: educating girls
and women, and to make yourself realize, a woman as the Blessed Mother. Try to be like her. I was reading a book recently on the women, and how it got started. It was to totally eliminate that whole mother, wife. They wanted to just, get rid of that whole idea, and that a woman is equal to a man. But a woman has so many other qualities that can be used for such good. Even if you do go to work and you do become the executive, you have such other skills different than
we're not all the same. I mean, and we're equal, but not all the same. And that's something clicking in some people's heads.
Something hard. And then you were speaking about vocations in the last episode, and Brazil has vocations. They have 4 postulants right now, and they have some novices and junior professors. So they're growing. That's a happy thought. And then our other missions, we have, let's say, Ethiopia and Eritrea in Africa there.
That is amazing.
Amazing. Eritrea has many vocations. We're up to 70 sisters in Eritrea.
Really?
But they're having such a hard time that this year the government took our schools.
And the clinic.
And our clinic 2 years before that. And the sisters are allowed to stay in the convent, but they can't go in the school. And they have their own soldiers teaching in the school. It's what they're trying to indoctrinate in the country of Eritrea. They're actually Maoists, and I probably shouldn't be saying.
No. Say what it is. It's just,
and so they're
World Wide
suffering.
Web, you know?
That's what I'm afraid of. They're suffering. They're suffering a lot. And then Ethiopia just had a civil war. They've been battling for 2 years. And again, we have vocations there. Whenever you have suffering, you usually get vocations. And we're going to have a final profession pretty soon of one of the sisters that, made it through the war. And the sisters are amazing that they've been they stayed during the war. And then the war wasn't over yet, but Sister wrote to Sister Hashen's, a Mother General, and said, the war's not over, but these kids have been out of school for 2 years. We're going to start up.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, so they have started up again, even though the war's not over yet. And so the children are back.
Is it dangerous to teach them?
One of our missions, Zolumbasa, which is on the border of Eritrea and Ethiopia, was totally destroyed. So those sisters have come back to Adigrat, the mother house, and many of the children have come to Adigrat. There are orphans. In our town of Adigrat, there are 700 orphans, plus the new ones that are coming in from Adigrat. There's just so many, all over. And not only because of war, but because of AIDS that we think has totally gone away. America, you have medicines. You have medicines and everything else. And then to add, when you have war, food can't get in. And right now, the World Food Program still has not entered Adigrat.
Really?
Really. So our sisters have...
Impossible to get in?
Impossible. They won't let them in. The main government, because it's a civil war. So the people that they're fighting against, they won't allow them to bring... The main government won't allow them to bring the food into there. Because, again, they're still shooting, and I guess they're afraid for them and things like that. So our sisters are providing for the children and women that are near them in those places, And then India is a beautiful place.
Not to interrupt that, but I met sister who's now assisting
Mercy.
Sister Mercy. She's helping Sister Shenza learn Italian.
Yes.
And the story is beautiful.
So funny.
They came from India. A group of Indian novices came from India and immediately started Italian lessons. And they speak more Italian and exquisite Italian than Mother General. And I have to say that because she said that herself. And much better than I. I try to preach in Italian, Mark, one of mine. But they understood something. But Sister Mercy, she's like a little angel. She came up. She said, okay, you say this way. Let me,
she's very
my God.
good. Yes,
yeah.
Very good.
So how many came from India to Rome?
To Rome, there are probably about 12 right now.
Great, great.
Yeah, so
are they received well by the Italians?
At first, it wasn't very easy for them, but now it is. They realize, they're not there to threaten them. They're there to help work and teach the children.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to India then. So tell me what's going on.
So India, our main house is in Andhra Pradesh, which was not Catholic. And the Bishop John, who was the bishop when we started, has gotten it up to 30% Catholic now. And it's really it's growing, and we have many vocations, and it's just it's wonderful. And there too, they suffer because of the poverty. They were so poor when we first went there. They had nothing really. Just really, there were still lepers when we first went there. Leper colonies and all. And we built a place called Sienna Home, and it was built for orphans and girls and whoever needed refuge there. And I was in one of the little towns called Pragashnagar, which you could walk from the mother house, and these 5 girls came up to me, and they go, "We want to go to St. Lucy's school."
Oh, stop!
Yeah, and they were orphans. So whoever was watching them in this little town of Pragashnagar said, okay. So they walked with me. And by the time we got back to the house, there were 40 other orphans with me. Well, Sister Josephine DeRimo, who was the superior, was not happy to
I can imagine.
see all these kids, And but Sister Josephine, she just passed away, but was so good. She says, all right, she makes everybody sit down. all right, we're going to eat, and they all started to clap and everything. So she got them a meal before we decided.
Good, anything.
Whatever, yeah. And so thank God we have the Siena home that we were able to put the children up in, and
That's
so
great.
and the Siena home is going strong today. We had to close it during COVID. The government wouldn't let them stay there during COVID.
Oh.
And it was like in Ethiopia also during COVID, the orphan children were not allowed to stay in the convent. So we had to pay women to watch them. And when the government came and said, you can't keep the orphans, you have to send them to their family. And she goes,
They're
you know
orphans.
the definition of orphan? And it was a rough
sad.
translation there.
Because
Very,
those-
very sad. And,
Those governments are so controlling,
yeah.
and the poor suffer.
Yeah.
Right.
So because we have so many vocations in India, we've opened so many schools. We have about 12 schools now, and Indians, they love education, and they do their homework.
Excellent.
They work so hard at their work.
Yes.
They're very good students,
Yeah.
whatever. And so our schools are doing very well there, and the sisters are providing good education for these
And
children.
vocations are coming.
And many vocations are
That's
there.
beautiful.
Blessing.
So India will be the new sending place.
It will be.
throughout the
You're
world.
actually right. Yeah.
Well, and even with priests, they're coming from India, Africa, and South America.
Yes.
But India has a lot.
Right. We would probably be getting some from Eritrea if it was free, but not at this time.
Right.
You can only leave Eritrea if you're over 41 years old.
Really?
Yeah,
They
that's
don't want the young
state
to leave.
law.
Yeah.
We're living in a free land, free country.
Yes,
yeah, we don't
and
realize.
even with all our complaints, we don't know how bad things are
Oh, yeah.
in other parts of the world.
And just water throughout the world. India, Eritrea, Ethiopia. Clean water is very hard
Tell
to
them
come
that
by.
funny story about Albania and the water with the little ones. Remember? They saw the water in the toilets.
Oh, in Albania?
Yeah,
Was that Albania?
yeah.
Yeah, we had put in Albania. We had put we built a nice school, and we put
Bathrooms.
in, whatever it is. And so it was Franca. I remember now. Yeah. So she let the little boys go in the bathroom, thinking everybody knows how to use a bathroom, right?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. They had never seen a bathroom, so they were in there
Really?
having a wonderful time. So she went in and made sure.
What was going on?
They had never seen such clean
They're
water.
drinking out of it. Yeah, they hadn't
Wow.
seen clean water. It just that's how it is. Just
It's
awful.
it's like astounding.
Yeah, it is,
Astounding.
yeah. Albania, you could do a whole show just on Albania. Albania is the only country in the
Okay,
world.
you know what? We'll do that.
Another
That'll
time.
be our next episode.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'll talk
Wow.
about Albania.
You now, are you the missionary rep
I am.
here?
I'm the missionary
Coordinator.
Oh, okay. So that
Yeah.
and you've been to these countries.
I have, yes.
That's
many times, yeah.
and I know you're facile with Italian. Are you good with the other languages as well?
No, their languages are all so different. Oh, Albanian is the hardest. What makes Albanian
Oh.
hard is when you say yes, you shake your head this way. When you say no, you shake your head this way.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, oh.
Well, the government formulated that language so it would be different than all of Europe. The communist government said we're going to create a new language. So
Isn't
it is really a tough language to
That
learn.
amazing. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
something.
Do your students here at what was the high school called?
Bill
Bill
Walsh
Walsh
Academy.
Okay, at the academy. Do they ever ask questions about
Well, just this
the
year,
mission?
they asked me to do a presentation because when I was in Italy, I did visit the missions with the Mother General of the past Mother General. So I did a whole presentation showing photos of what I had seen and the different places and what they're experiencing. So yeah, the girls were very interested. We've done collections of money for the missions.
Great.
Yeah.
And some families have come. The Walsh family came, interesting name, Walsh. They came to India and they stayed for about a month. And then I had another family that went to Brazil and helped out there.
Really?
Yeah, and they prefer to go as families, which is very nice.
Good.
You know,
So the
and
whole family sees it.
it's a good experience for all of them too. Yeah, it's a good thing.
We've taken you around the world, but we're going to continue this. This is Father Louis Scurti with Sister Helen, Sister Mary Beth, talking about the mission of Saint Lucy Filippini. And we're doing it this year because it's the 350th anniversary of her birth.
Right.
And her mission and her missionary activity is still going on. In interesting parts of the world that she probably never imagined being in. This is Father Louis Scurti. Let me hear from you. Father Louis Scurti at hotmail.com. God bless you.